Good afternoon. And Happy New Year to each and every one of you in our viewing audience. We'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Ms. Monroe-Naylor? Present. Attorney Murphy?
Present.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Here.
Ms. Gresham?
Ms. Gresham will be participating virtually as she is recovering from knee surgery, Barbara, and I hope you're feeling well.
Ms. Gresham?
She's trying to get on right now.
Okay, we'll come back to that then.
Ms. Hurst?
Ms. Hurst is also participating virtually.
Mr. Collins?
Here.
Mayor Sarno?
Present.
Did they send you the link?
Can we all please rise for a moment of silence? I'd like to dedicate that to the people of Buffalo and to the Buffalo Bills defensive back, Damar Hamlin, to give them all encouragement. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Focus Springfield for accommodating, televising this organizational meeting, and to halfback Steve Carey and Brendan Josue. Thank you very, very much on that. We'll now move to, is Ms. Gresham on, by the way? Barbara? Not yet.
Who's back there? Can somebody call her and try to help her? She seems to be having trouble.
Brendan or Josue, could somebody check with Ms. Gresham? Denise, yes, we have her.
She's saying she can't get through.
She's indicating she can't get through. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And again, thanks for the moment of encouragement for the people of Buffalo with the blizzard and the defensive back, Buffalo Bills, Damar Hamlin, on the encouragement and good health, speedy recovery to him. If we could, we'll take a 1-minute recess, possible, as we look to get Ms. Gresham on. Thank you very much. You guys give me the thumbs up. There, Barbara. There she is. Okay. We good? We'll call the meeting back to order. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. A little technical glitch there. I want to thank Focus Springfield again for your efforts, Patty McCarthy, our Secretary, Vice Chair Collins, and the outreach. And we're glad to have Ms. Gresham on board, and I hope you're recovering well from your knee surgery. Madam Clerk, could you please recognize Ms. Gresham?
So done.
Okay. With that, we'll now move to items requiring a vote of the school committee, and also joined by my colleagues in government, City Council President Jesse Letterman and State Representative Orlando Ramos is also here too. Items requiring a vote of the school committee, appointment of the secretary to the school committee. Superintendent Warwick, please.
Patty has served the school committee for years, so I'd recommend her.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
Second by Ms. Naylor? A member has to make, yep, so do we have a, first of all, motion?
Motion and then a
Motion by Vice Chair Collins, second by Ms. Naylor. Roll, are you sure you want it, Patty? Okay. We're glad to have you. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor?
Yes.
Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient votes, this matter passes. Congratulations and thank you, Patty. We'll now move to B, nomination election of the vice chairperson. Is there any nominations on the floor, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Gonzalez?
I would like to nominate Ms. Latonia Naylor for this position.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Or second, please.
Second that.
Second by Attorney Peter Murphy. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor?
Yes.
Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Hurst?
Happily, yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient votes, this matter passes. Congratulations. Congratulations, Vice Chairwoman Naylor. And before you make your statement there, I want to thank the outgoing Vice Chairman Chris Collins for the sound leadership through some unprecedented times on that. And we like to give him a round of applause. Thank you.
It's the committee, Mayor, not a person.
Well, it's a team, but soundly unprecedented times. With that, I know Ms. Naylor and your family is here, which are fantastic to be here to witness this moment. I know you have a few words or more that you'd like to say. So without further ado, our new incoming Vice Chairperson, Chairwoman Latonia Naylor.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'm right behind you with your chair. Please. Hold on. You good? Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna try to be brief as possible. I promise I won't be as long as Councilor Letterman was yesterday. I just want to say I really thank God for this opportunity. I thank God for my family who are here, as well as those that are on their way. 7 years ago, I remember almost to this day, my husband and I going back and forth to school with our son. He was in 2nd grade. And at that time, we heard a lot of stories about our son that were not good. We heard that he was defiant. We heard that he was bad. We heard that he was not cooperative. He was difficult to have in class. Got to the point where they said, well, you need to give him therapy. And then it got to the point where they said, well, you need to give him medication. And when they told us we need to give him medication, my husband and I looked and said, no, this is where we draw the line. And I went to my friend, Pat Spradley, who used to be the chief of parent and community engagement, and I said, something's got to be done because my son is struggling and we need to put him somewhere. We can't afford to put him in private school. She said, well, send him to your zone school. I said, no, I will not do that. She said, why? I said, because my daughter's experience there was horrible. She said, well, the school has changed. I promise you, meet with the principal is doing better. And that's what we did. We met with the principal, Kristen Hughes at that time at White Street. And when we went into the building, we knew that things had changed, and we put our son there believing that this would be a better journey for him. Fast forward 6 weeks, we got a phone call. He's having trouble in class. My husband and I went in there ready to defend our son, and we got there, and Ms. Gibson-Roy said, you know, your son is bright. He's so smart. His mind is like a human calculator. He's one of the brightest students that we have. His ability to do mathematics is beyond his years. And I was so enamored with the words that were coming out of her mouth that I forgot I was there because he did something wrong. So I said to her, well, didn't he do something wrong? She said, oh, yeah, we'll talk about that later. She said, but the point is your son has been traumatized. And I cried. I said, what do you mean my son's been traumatized? I'm supporting my son. I'm a good mom. He's got good parents. She said, he thinks he's in trouble, so he does things to get in trouble. And that's a form of trauma. And we're going to help you help your son. He's bright and he has potential. We're going to help him reach his potential. And we work together. The school, the parents, the families, we all work together. And I brought this today because I wanted you to see my son on the front page of a newspaper. Here he is.
The double-spaced kid, that's what I'm going to call it.
My son was on the front of the newspaper because he was a keynote speaker at an event earlier this week that Miss Ayanna Crawford hosted here at the City Hall. And my son has a 4.1 GPA right now. My son flew a plane this past year. My son was the president of his 8th grade student council. My son was unanimously chosen by all of his staff to represent his school in Project 351 leadership program. And not only that, my son already has scholarships to go to college, and he's only in 9th grade.
Very good.
They're like, why is she bragging about her son? She has 4 children. They're all honor roll students, right? Why is she bragging about her son? I'm bragging about my son. He's not here today. Why? Because he's in school, because he believes in the priority of education, right? We instilled that in him. But 5 years ago, when I ran for school committee and ran across the city, it was because of my son. It's because I saw what happened in White Street School, that it went from a level 4 to a level 1 school, that it went from being a school nobody wanted to send their kids to a blue ribbon school, under tight leadership, under resources, under a community that banded together and believed that if we do better, our kids can have better. Well, guess what? I still believe that. And I ran for vice chair because I believe not only can it happen in White Street, not only can it happen at Putnam, but it can happen in every single school in our district if we work together. It takes a village. It takes our administrators, it takes our executive, it takes our staff, it takes our educators, it takes our families, it takes our students to all feel welcome to sit at the table and have their truths be heard, have their truths be realized, and then for us to strategize, how do we come up with a better way to make sure all of our children have an equitable education that they all deserve. When they were born, it is not a civil right, it is a human right to have an equitable education, and that is why I ran for vice chair, and I am looking forward to us doing it together as a body. We come with very diverse backgrounds and diverse experiences, but one thing that I believe that everybody that sits on this committee wants what's best for Springfield. And if we can work together to do what's best for Springfield, I tell you one thing, Springfield, people haven't heard the best yet of Springfield. So this is not the beginning. This is a continuation of what my forefathers and foremothers fought for so many decades and centuries. This is a continuation of what we all have sought to do and to do better. Starting from 10 years ago when we had a 50% graduation rate to now having an almost 90% graduation rate. And guess what? There's still room to improve. And we're going to do it together. We're going to do it together with all of my brothers and sisters that are sitting here and those that are attending virtually. We're going to do this together. Community, we are going to do this together. This is not a silo. This is not a one-person show. This is a community effort. We all have to show up, and we all have to do so for our families. Thank you so much.
Vice Chair Naylor, I think you beat the City Council President Jesse Letterman time limit there on that. So I don't know if there's any other questions or comments to be made. Okay, hearing none. We'll move to C, which is approval of the rules and regulations of the school committee, Robert's Rules of Order. Attorney Phelps, any clarification at all? And no really changes. This is something we've always done for years. Yeah. Thank you for the clarification. Are there any questions or comments? Mr. Collins is our parliamentarian here, so motion by Mr. Collins. Is there a second, please?
Second?
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Collins? Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. Thank you very much. D is to establish the chairpersons of standing committees. I'll turn it over to Vice Chairwoman Naylor, please.
Yes, I did provide the documentation to Ms. McCarthy. Thank you so much. Patty's going to pass the sheet around.
Thanks, Patty. Thanks, Patty.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patty.
There were not many changes with the chairmanship of the subcommittees, with the exception of one, which is the DEI subcommittee. We did change the chair in that per this document that you received, and the chair would move from being Mr. Gonzalez to being Mrs. Hurst. Outside of that, all the other chairs have remained the same.
Thank you, Vice Chair Naylor. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion on,
The recommendation?
motion by Mr. Collins, is there a second, please?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalez. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Hurst? Ms. Hurst?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, more than sufficient vote, this matter passes. Thank you very much. We'll now move to Section 3, which is informational discussion items. Attorney Phelps will review the ethics rules, regulations, open meeting law, public documents. Attorney Phelps, please.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet is a memo from me to you all with regards to both the open meeting law and the ethics law certificates. The certificates are also included in your packet. If you would sign saying you've received the link to the open meeting law and then the conflict of interest attachment in your packet, I can collect those afterwards rather than having to follow up after the meeting to receive those. I just want to remind you that a quorum of 4 is required under the open meeting law. If 4 of you meet together to deliberate or discuss anything with regards to school committee business, that is a violation of the open meeting law. It must be in an open meeting and posted in order to have any conversation. And let me just remind you also that includes text messaging. If should there be any text messaging during the meeting regarding an agenda item or business of the school committee, those may be considered to be discoverable text messaging, because that would be determined to be deliberation between members and not available to members of the public to see what is being discussed. So it's a word of caution with regards to text messaging. As you know, there are 3 applicable exceptions to the open meeting law, or most often exceptions, and that is if 4 of you are conducting an on-site inspection of a project, program, or school building when there is no deliberation but an inspection, that is an exception to the open meeting law. You may attend a conference, training program, or event as long as there is no deliberation at the event. And you may attend a meeting of another public body and participate only by open participation and not deliberate. So those are kind of the exceptions. It's in the memo as well. And then, as you know, that executive session, there are limitations to when this body can enter into executive session. Clearly, the ones most applicable are with regards to conversations on collective bargaining or litigation. If an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of this body, to discuss strategy with regards to security, and also to discuss the reputation or character of an individual. I have attached on page 2, according to my records, those of you who are due every 2 years to take the conflict of interest test, and most of you are not due in 2023, just a couple of you, and I'll follow up with you to make sure that we comply with the requirements. And then the certificates are in your packet, which I will collect afterwards. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Attorney Phelps. Any questions or comments of Attorney Phelps? Okay, hearing none, we'll now move to B, which is establishing the voting order. And we're going to do a pick of the voting order. Patty, Ms. McCarthy? We got rid of the cigar box. City Council still uses a cigar box. Old school. Behind door number 3 there, huh? And I know, Patty, you'll be picking for Ms. Hurst and Ms. Gresham, am I correct? Oh, whatever you want, that's fine. Yeah. Ms. Hurst. Yeah, and this is Ms. Gresham. Okay, all right, so,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
you're welcome, Barb, feel good. Okay,
Yes.
for Ms. Hurst. Number 1, she draws seat number 1.
know about that, Mayor.
I couldn't see through the envelope. Patty had it sealed tight here, number 1. Okay. For Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
okay. Seat number 5 for Ms. Gresham.
5. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Everybody else can reveal their seat numbers, please.
Attorney Murphy?
2?
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Well, she's right here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yeah, 3.
Mr. Collins?
4, Barbara, we're still sitting next to each other.
All right, that's a good thing.
That's it. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Second by Vice Chair Naylor. Roll call vote is required. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Monroe Naylor?
Yes.
Attorney Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Ms. Gresham?
Yes.
Ms. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Mayor Sarno?
Yes, motion sufficient votes, matter passes. Good afternoon. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year and good health. God bless. Thank you.